Hello, good morning all. Today in this video, we are going to discuss about how to create settings for your module. So currently we are in Odoo version 12 and we are continuing the development in hospital management module, which is renamed into Odoo development tutorials. So if I go to each and every module and if I go to sales, you can see a configuration menu here at the end. And if you click on configuration, then settings, you can see a settings menu is coming like this. So from here we can configure different things. So like that we will see how we can create one for our module, that is hospital module. So here you can see I have already added one for our module, so we will discuss how to add or how to deal with it. So if you check purchase has got a settings, inventory has got a settings, manufacturing got a settings. So let's see how we can add a settings for our module, that is hospital module. So if I go to hospital module, here you can see I have already added a new menu settings. So you can just rename it to configuration, and then under the configuration you can add settings. So right now if I click on this settings menu, you can see, so if I click on this settings menu, you can see a view is coming, but there is no much fields. I have just added only a single field, that is default node. So we will see how this is done. So if I go to PyCharm, here you can see this is our module, that is OM Hospital. And if you haven't got this module yet, you can just download it from Odoo App Store or from our GitHub repository. If you log into GitHub and if you search for Odoo Mates, you can see a Odoo development tutorials repository. From that repository you can download this module or clone the module, or you can download it from Odoo App Store. So here in our module, that is OM Hospital, in the models folder I have added a new file, that is settings.py. So if I come here and if I have already activated the development mode in the database, so yet if you haven't activated the debug mode, you can just activate the debug mode. And if I click on here and if I click on edit view form, you can see that the model name is Rus config settings. So what I have done first is I have just inherited Rus config settings. So in the new file, I have called this file in the init. You can see from .import settings. So the file has been imported in the init file. Then inside this file, I have inherited the model Rus config settings and I have given a class name. So after inheriting the class, that is Rus config settings, I have added a new field, that is note. I will give the string as default note. So I have just updated the string. So what I have done is I have inherited Rus config settings and defined a new field note. Then so that's done in the Python side. Then if I come to the views, you can see I have added a new XML file, that is settings.xml file, and the same file is called inside the manifest file. Here in the data section you can see the newly added file is called in the manifest file, that is view/settings.xml. and if I open this settings.xml file, you can see what I have done is I have added a new menu. So what I will do is that rather than adding settings menu directly, we can add a configuration menu, and under that configuration menu we can add the settings. So if you go to sales module, you can see there is no, it is not added directly. Under configuration, settings has been added. So we will do, or we will follow the same format. So I'll just copy this menu, copy, and I will paste it here. Okay, I'll just change the name of the menu as configuration. Parent is fine, and you don't need to give the action for the parent menu. So I'll just remove it and I'll copy menu hospital. I'll just change the ideas configuration. Okay, that's done. So I have to copy these ID and give the parent of settings menu. So that's done. So here you can give sequence as 10. So here you can see for the configuration menu I have given sequence as 100. You can give as much as big value for the sequence because it's nice to show the configuration menu at the last. So in any module, if you go to point of sale, you can see the configuration menu is coming at the last, and if you go manufacturing, you can see it's all coming as last. So I'll just give a big value, that is 100. So we have added a new menu, that is configuration menu, and under the configuration menu we have added a settings menu. So just let's update the module and see the change. So I'll go to the apps menu and from the apps menu I'll just upgrade the module. So the module is Odoo development tutorials. So you can see the module is getting upgraded. So what happens after module upgrade get upgraded is that we will have a new menu configuration, and right under the configuration we will have another menu settings, and from the settings we can access the settings from view. So I will go to the hospital, and here you can see the configuration menu, and from the configuration menu I can access the settings. So we will continue the discussion regarding the view. The settings is coming. So here is our XML file, and if I expand this view, you can see we have defined two menus, and from the settings menu I have called this action, which is defined here. This is the action of this menu. So you can see record. I have given an ID for the record. The model is ir.actions window, and you can give the name, any name for this action. I just give the settings. Either you can give as hospital settings, like that you can give a name. Then the type should be ir.actions.act window, and the model name should be the model name that we have inherited here, that is rust config settings. So that model name has given in the rust model. I'll just close this. Okay, then view ID, you have to specify the view ID which form view has been shown. So I'll just have defined a view here. So what I have done is I have just copied this view name and given it here. Okay, we have to see show a form view. We don't need to show a tree view or Kanban view. We need a form view. So view mode is given as form view. Target is set as inline. And the main thing you have to notice that in the context you have to pass the module name. Context module equal to OM hospital. You can see our technical name of module is OM hospital. Then you can pass it here. So OM hospital is passed here. So that's all about the menu action. We have called this action from the settings menu. You can see action equal to action hospital config settings, which is defined here. So the important thing is that you have to give the model name correctly, and in context module equal to OM hospital is passed. Now we will discuss about the view. Here you can see we have defined a view, that is we have inheriting, that is base.rustconfig settings view form. This has to be inherited to make a view here. So the view you have to inherit is base.rustconfig settings view form. So don't forget to give this inherit, and you can specify the model name here. You can give a name for the view, and you can give a name accordingly for this view, but you have to call the same here. Then inside this field name or type XML, we are exporting. We will use export expression, and we will add inside settings. You have to follow this format, that is expression equal to div has class settings position inside. So till now these are the common format that you have to given for all the settings. Then inside div class app settings block, and inside this you can give a data string, and you can give a string which will get displayed here. So you can give a string there. Then in the data key you can see a data key which has to be same as what we have given here. So if this get mismatched, I think the settings won't get visible. So you have to give both are same. That is in the context you are passing a module name, and you can see hospital. So because right now once we click on settings, you can see we are getting all the settings. So how come just hospital gets selected? That is using this data key. So you can see from these settings itself we can access the settings of others, but when we click on the menu you can see it will automatically choose hospital. Yeah, that's because from this data key. Then inside this I have just given a h2 heading, that is hospital management, which has been get displayed here. Either you can give it or not. Then you can see inside the div I have just defined or field name equal to not is given, which was here defined. So that's all about what I have done already, but there is an issue. What issue is that if I click on this, if I write something like this, like and subscribe this channel, and I can click on save button. So once you click on the save button, the view will get refreshed automatically but you won't see the type value there. You will get an empty field again. So yeah, you can see it's getting empty field. So I just, we have seen different same questions in different places like Odoo forum or Facebook groups, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. Like I have saved my value in the field, but after reloading it is getting us empty. Why so like that? So it's not get finished by just defining a field and adding it into the view. You have to do something more. So if I search in the code, set default value, if I search inside the code, set default value, yeah, first of all let me search set default value in the code. I forget the field name. I think I have forget the name, so just let me check inside the code. So first of all, you are not getting the value because we are using a transient model here. So you know, transient model is not, is the model those which not get created in the table. So if you check the database table, you won't see a table name rest config settings. You will see a table, but there will not be data. So it will store data for temporary and it will get flushed. So you will think how we will store this data. So we will come to it. So if I search this rest config settings inside the code, if in this file I can see those function, or I can get those function what I'm looking for. Yeah, let me check and find some better modules where I can copy the code. Where is sale module website? Let me scroll down. Yeah, we are getting sales module here. Sorry, where is sales? Let me open sales module. Yeah, set value and get value. Yeah, so I'll just copy these two functions. Control C. First of all, I'll just copy this and paste it here. Value. Don't get worried. I'll just explain what I'm doing. Okay. Okay. Adjust the code address. So we have copied one function from here. Now we have to copy one more function, that is get values. I'll just copy it from here. Okay, get values. So what I will do is that let's it get commented. So first of all, we will talk about the set values function. As we are using transient model, as I have told earlier, it won't save the data into the database. It will save the database, it will save for some time, and after some time it will automatically get flushed. So we won't get a stable data. So what we will do in the case of the settings is that we will store all the entered things inside ir.config parameter model. So we will store the entered things in this model, and on upon saving the settings, so if I click enter something here and if I click on save button, what the function do is that function will store the entered value in ir.config parameter and get values. So get values will execute it once this view is getting loaded. So once view is getting loaded, system will check whether ir.config parameter holds the value. If it has value, it will just add into that view. So I'll show you. So I'll copy this node name and I will copy and give like this. So let's adjust the code first and discuss that is better, I think. Hospital settings sudo nodes. I copy this and I will paste it. Okay, so what we have done is we have defined set values and get values for the settings. So earlier when we have checked, the value is not getting saved, but let's see whether there is any change right now as we have added the new two functions. So I'll just upgrade the module. I think it's not necessary, but still I'm just upgrading the module to make sure everything is working fine. Okay, I'll just upgrade the module. So meanwhile, you can see we have defined set values and get values for the settings. What set value will do is that it will take the entered value and save it to the config parameter. So instead of false, I have to give self dot field name, that is not. So this value that is inside self dot not, we will have the value we are entering the character field. It will get saved using this key or hospital dot not in ir.config parameter. So using these we can access the data from the ir.config parameter table itself. So from here you can see self.env ir config parameter. So from this model we are get param, this is passing. So once this is done, we will get the value we have saved. So the module has got upgraded successfully. Now we will go to hospital and then to the configuration, then to the settings. So earlier when we have tested, we were not getting the value saved. So I'll just type something here, that is subscribe the channel. So I have entered a string here, and if I click on save button, we are getting an error. Let's check what is that. Notes. Yeah, let's notes. Where is notes is given? Yeah, here notes. We don't have a field called notes. It's not. You can see the field name is not. So I just updated it. So I'll just reload the page. Sorry, reload the restart the service. And if I come to the view again, sorry, I have entered this, and if I click on save button, you can see it's getting loaded. Okay, the screen is getting refreshed. So earlier when we have checked, we were not getting the value we have saved, but right now you can see the field is holding the value what we have entered, test value. And if I click on save, you can see it is getting reloaded. And if the screen comes again, we will have the value there itself. So these two functions has to be defined to save the value into the database and to display the value. Set value will save the entire value into the ir.config parameter, and get value function will do fetch the value from the ir config parameter and display it in the corresponding field. So here you can see we are fetching the value from ir config parameter, that is we are fetching this parameter and displaying it to the, this is the field name, that is node field. What I have fetched is I am passing into node field. So that's all about this video about how to create settings in Odoo. So there is nothing. First of all, what you have to do is that you have to inherit Rust config settings, add the necessary fields which you have to show in the form. Then you can add a new menu. If I go to settings.xml file, you can see we can add new menu, define its action, that is inline form. In the context, don't forget to pass module, that is OM hospital. Model is Rust config settings, and in the view you have to specify the data key as the same value. Then we can see this. So once again I will show you. I will just comment out this now, or if I comment out this and if I restart the service, and if I restart the service and if I reload the screen, you won't see the test value there because get value function is commented. So you can see if I reload the screen, I think you won't see the any values inside the field default node. So you can see it's coming as empty. So if I uncomment this get value function, you can see the value. You can see the value. I'll just restart the service. Right now we have active uncommented the get value function. So once get value function is uncommented, system will check the ir.config parameter whether this is there. So as we have already saved it in the database, you will get it. Okay, you will get the default node. Okay, but right now you can see set value is commented. Set value is commented. So once click on save button, it won't get saved. Will not get saved, but we will get the same test value, which is the value before. We will get test value in the field. Test value, which was the earlier value. Yeah. So for saving the value, you have to define that test set value. So if I restart again, and if I add, thanks for watching, and if I click on save, it will get saved. So that's all about the video regarding how to create a new settings in Odoo. So if you have any queries or if you have any doubts, please don't hesitate to ask us. You can just contact us over the social medias, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or any other mediums, or you can directly contact us via email. The email ID is odoomates@gmail.com. And please subscribe and like the channel, and just click the bell icon to get notified regarding the upcoming videos. Thank you.